the distinguished panelists and ladies and gentlemen. I congratulate the organizers for having organized this eMaharashtra State eGovernance Leadership Summit. I would briefly present the various programs that have been undertaken by the Revenue Department of the Government of Maharashtra. The Revenue Department, as some of you may know and some of you may not know, actually the word is a misnomer. Many people in other states think that as the Additional Chief Secretary of the Revenue Department, I am in charge of the state finances. But it is not so. The Revenue Department in Maharashtra, it's a legacy of the old colonial era, is in charge of land, is in charge of all lands in the state of Maharashtra. And it collects the land revenue, that is the Shet Sara as we call it in Marathi for those who understand Marathi. And for those who don't understand Marathi, I'll give you the example of the Bollywood film which calls it Lagan. So the Revenue Department revolves around land and collection of land revenue. Therefore, I thought I must tell you the background because most of the programs that have been undertaken by the Revenue Department for using information technology and taking it to the common citizen, as the Secretary Government of India was saying, that the real test is how are you reaching the common man. So the Revenue Department's focus is how do you computerize the land records. That's the basic thing I would say. And in that, I must tell you that a lot of work has been done. Tremendous amount of work has been done, but a lot of work remains to be done. And I think this seminar, this summit, must address what are the challenges which lie ahead, which we need to address. Tremendous work done in terms of computerizing all land records. It is available on a website, if I remember correctly, the Mahabhule. Land records in our state, in the rural areas, as far as agriculture is concerned, is popularly known as the 7-12, 712. That is the land ownership and what is cultivated on that. 12 part gives you the Pere Patrak. Pere Patrak means what crop have you taken this year? And Sat, the form number 7 on the upper part, gives you who is the owner of this land. And in what capacity is he the owner? Is he an occupant class 1, occupant class 2, or is he a lessee? There are 3 types of broad ownership. If you are a occupant class 1, just a minute, I think please, some people are discussing among themselves, and I will appreciate if you give 10 minutes for me, you can discuss it later on. Occupant class 1 are people who are the absolute owners of their land. In some parts are stated they are called the Bhumi Swami. Occupant class 2 are people whom land has been given by the government with certain terms and conditions that you cannot sell without prior permission, you cannot transfer without prior permission. And the third is a lessee, that he is given land on lease. Now, all this land record has been computerized in Maharashtra. So 712, if it is an agriculture land, and if you are residing in urban area, if you are residing in the city, then your land records is in the form of a PR card, the property register as it is called. But what is the problem in government is, it's a perennial problem. I'm giving you some example, but I think this problem is haunting us in all programs that we undertake. Its updation is not happening. All efforts have really not succeeded. Anytime you go to the website, you check the land record, the problem is it's outdated. So I don't know how to address that. I was thinking that we will now put on every computerized record which is available to the citizen, saying that this is as on date so and so. Otherwise people are going to be misled. He might take out a copy and believe that this is the present status and go ahead with the transaction and later on find that some other changes have taken place subsequently which have not been recorded. So the challenge for you people is, please tell us, having done this, I would say, major work of putting all land records in the website and in the computerized form, how do you keep it updated all the times? Second, there are technical problems. I think my people, Darli has worked in that area and some other people, that we are not able to keep pace with the demand that comes on that system. it's very difficult to even access or open your website. I'm told that there are some problems, probably the bandwidth is not proper, it needs upgradation, too many people wanting to access at the same time. But I'm sure technological solutions would be available. So having done so much of work, I think the need is to make it such user-friendly that people should be able to access it with ease. They should be able to use it at any time, and it should be all the time updated on a real-time basis. Third is, there are vast disparities in the state as a whole. Private players have been given responsibility in this program, whether it is Setu, whether it is the Maha E-Seva Kendra, you must have all been told about it, that I think, if I remember correctly, probably about 12,000 Maha E-Seva Kendra are planned in the state. But what is the problem is, having given the responsibility to various private players, some have done very well, others have failed miserably. So you have pockets in Maharashtra which are doing exceedingly well. They are offering something like 150 to 160. I think some officers from Latur and Nanded are here. There is a competition between those two districts that how many services for the citizens will offer in these centers. It's a great idea. The citizen doesn't have to go to the Tahsil Karyalaya or the collector office. He gets all these services in a center. But there are districts where this has not picked up at all. And I don't know, nobody from IT department is here. Why can't the government take immediate action? Having given a reasonable time for a private player to perform, if a private player has performed in some district and another has not performed in other districts, I think government should take immediate action and give an opportunity to those who have performed well in other districts. So that kind of an analysis in this summit needs to be done. Take the state as a whole. What are the pockets where it has performed well? Who are the players who have done well? Encourage them. Give them more areas. And those who have failed miserably, I think should be substituted by people who are performing well. That's another challenge I think this summit needs to deliberate. A few more examples I would like to give. I would like to give the example of, my colleague will go into greater details of online mutation, which has been taken up as a pilot project, and we have done a pilot project successfully at a place called Mulshi. I happened to visit a few days ago and I saw the pilot project myself, and we are now feeling confident that we are going to roll it to other districts. There are 35 districts in Maharashtra. I think the plan this year is that we take up 5 districts in which we are going to roll out. There again, the problem is that this e-mutation is going to capture all transactions relating to land which are registered in the office of the registrar or the sub-registrar. That will capture, I think, about 60 to 70% transactions. But there are a lot of other transactions pertaining to land which take place outside the registrar's office. It can be because a father has died and his children become the heirs and the names of the heirs are being entered. That is another transaction which is happening. That also needs to be captured now online on a real-time basis. Thousands and lakhs of such transactions take place. Partitions take place within the family. Brothers are not able to get along, whatever may be the reason. Partition is also happening in practically all households. Transactions take place because you borrow something from banks or financial institutions, you raise loan, you mortgage certain things. Again, those transactions need to be captured. So give a thought to this, that the idea of having an online mutation means the moment there is a transaction in land, it will be captured everywhere. If the registrar is recording that there has been a transaction and the stamp duty officer is recording when the stamp duty is being paid, immediately the revenue record, people who are custodian of revenue record, that is the Tahsildar and the collector and all the officers, must know that such and such transaction has taken place. And even the reverse side should be true, that when our revenue officers are recording mutations on account of heirs, on account of mortgages, or whatever reason, any transaction recorded here should be immediately recorded elsewhere. So how do you bring all transactions online, and how do you? The great hope lies because in the villages we have started a scheme called e-Chowri. This is a very revolutionary idea. I think you must give 2 minutes to that. This idea started in a district called Kolhapur, where the talatis, that is a village level worker, in some places I think he's called the Patwari in Nagpur and Vidarbha region. These people offered that we will now put all our land records into a sleek laptop. Our land record is traditionally kept in village forms. On paper, there are 21 forms in which the land records is maintained. But in practice, actually, there are about 40 forms, because every form will have A, B, C, D, E, F. And those forms, if you people are from the village, are carried in a package called the daftar. It's a big land record daftar which is carried. And the talati will, I don't know now, probably things have changed. I'm talking of some decades ago. The talati used to be walking, and behind him used to be a man called the kotwal, the village servant. And he used to be carrying the huge talati daftar. Now they have put all that into a sleek laptop. They said we don't need this huge manual daftar to be carried. The other thing which happens is that they are able to record, they are able to give all kinds of papers, certificates, etc. instantly to the villager over there. And they took a decision that we are not going to ask government for funds. All these laptops and printers, the talatis have themselves purchased by raising loan, and government came forward with a scheme that if 15 rupees is the charge for one certificate, they can retain 10 rupees, the talati, and 5 rupees will come to the government treasury. Out of that, he should maintain, he should bear the expenses of stationery or electricity or whatever it is. This idea has caught on. Initially, there was resistance. Typically, the resistance comes from old people like me, because they think that we are not going to be able to match the younger generations. The younger talatis are coming who are more educated, who are technology savvy, and feel more comfortable with this rather than carrying the 40 forms and kotwal along with them. So initially there was some resistance, but through a series of dialogues, through a series of meetings, we have been able to sort out these differences. Now the state is getting ready that the whole state, every village worker is going to carry a laptop, and I think that's the revolution that is going to take place. There the problem is having a common software, and I will be happy to tell you that various types of softwares have come forward, some by some private companies. Some talatis who are very fond of technology have also come up with a software. So it's not only that software can come only from you people or from companies. There is a talati who has himself developed a software. It is called the Talati Mitra. For those who want to go into the greater details, can have a look at it. And I'm told that that is the most popular software because it has been prepared by the talatis, so all other talatis find it very familiar to use it. So there are several, and right now the task has been given to Mr. Dalvi and to IT department at NIC to have one standardized software. There the problem I find is there have been some initial problems. Some people have been able to misuse the system. So you people have to tell us that this great potential and revolution, how do you safeguard against the misuse? There have been 1 or 2 instances in which some people have been able to somehow manipulate the system, that the original record shows a different entry and the computerized copies which have been given to the common man are different. That means they have been able to reach, I would say, the data center or wherever it is stored and have different kind of set issued to the common man. So we have detected 2 such cases. So we are very worried about that. We want to make use of this revolutionary technology, but we are worried about the security aspects of it. And how do you see that when one person is transferred from one place to another, he doesn't carry the record in his laptop to the other place? All those questions. And entry, access, how do you restrict only to authorized persons? I'm told that there are ways of having it in the form of either digital signature or in the form of biometrics to ensure. But I would request the conference to apply their mind that if this is going to be the magnitude of use of information technology, how do you safeguard against the... The last point I would like to mention is that simpler things also go a long way, whether it is scanning of record, whether it is digitization of maps. Simple things like even setting up of a, we call it the e-Lokshahi center, or it is actually you can say a call center. So 20 districts, I am informed, have put up the system when you can at any time call the collector office, and the system will give you an answer to the frequently asked questions. It's like a call center, you can say. And if you have a grievance, if you have a complaint, it will register it and give you a token number, and we assure that within a time limit we will be able to redress your grievance, and if it is not done, then it moves to a higher officer and so on. So these are the various initiatives which the Revenue Department has undertaken, and I think even video conferencing. In last 1 year, I'm going to now hold a conference in Pune. In 1 year, I have not had the need to hold a collector's conference at my headquarters or at any other place, because the video conferencing is a very effective means of addressing all 35 collectors and 6 commissioners and the settlement commissioner at one time. So, but the connectivity is a problem. I don't know why we can't solve this problem. That there are some areas in which we are not able to reach. There are some districts, there are some tehsils. And the unfortunate thing is that we are not able to reach those districts which need the connectivity all the time, because things are bad over there. For example, let me give you the example of Gadchiroli. You must be reading in newspapers how difficult situation there is in Gadchiroli district, where the Naxal activities are a matter of concern. We are not able to reach there all the time. In fact, the challenge with technocrats is to give us solutions that how do we first have access to such places, rather than requiring people to go all the time, which is a very risky thing. So these are the challenges which you people must address during the session. With these words, I take leave. Thank you very much. All the best.